trousers. Look at my trousers. Look at my trousers.
Take it easy.
Oh my God.
That's some Christmas annotation.
I had a lot of energy and charisma. I thought, you know what, it's only right I kind of channel it into some sort of avenue. My older brother was telling me, look, get into the boxing gym. I had a teacher at the time as well in a school called Ayo, and he was telling me, get into the boxing gym, you know, and go channel that energy. So I started then, and I haven't looked back since. Yeah, my first boxing club was Dole Youth. Stayed there right until the end of my amateur career.
There's a lot of big names who've been through that club, isn't there?
Yeah, like myself.
Yeah. Apart from you.
Yeah, you had George Groves, you had James DeGale, of course you had Daniel Dubois.
Just obviously fight week. It's going to be a nice, relatively easy session. We'll do 8 rounds of pads, working a bit of technical stuff, a little bit of fight-specific stuff. And I mean, from my perspective, all you really want is just to see slight improvement, you know, week in, week out, month in, month out. You're not expecting big strides, but I mean, I've said it before, and I'm not bigging Dave up because he's standing there. I think he's the quickest learner I've ever seen. Dave's pretty much doing the work for me, really. We're not having to drill things over and over and over and over and over again before he gets it right. There you go.
I wanted to get education in my arsenal just because, you know, the sports field only lasts a certain amount of years. I mean, 40 years old, a lot of people are retired by then, and life don't stop at 40. Yeah, so I went and got my degree, did my education, and after that, after graduating, I just focused solely on the boxing.
Yep. Good job. Again.
Typical day would wake up, go to my lecture, come home, eat, and then go down to the boxing gym. It wasn't too bad, to be fair. It wasn't as hard as or intense as people would think, because uni, you're only in 3-4 times a week. Lectures are only about 3 hours, so you do have time in the day to train as well. So yeah, I was kind of juggling the two.
And did your housemates sort of understand that, or were they say, nah, come on, David?
No, they all understood it, thankfully. I mean, they all knew. I mean, they would go in and have nights out, and I'd be cooking my grilled chicken and whatnot, so they kind of knew I was taking it serious. So I did my dissertation on the actual sports in the sport of boxing. So yeah, I studied the sport. I was looking into it a lot before I even turned pro. You know, just looking at the pros and the cons.
You never know, you might be promoted, but you might be able to step into Frank's shoes.
You never know, I might be taking over Frank's shoes. You ain't gonna like that though, but it's the truth, so.
Dip your knees, get low. Right underneath that elbow as he's here. Yep, that's the one. Lovely, Dave.
Being in there with Tyson was a good experience for me. Kind of shows me where I'm at. I think I held myself well. I think I've done a good job, and these are the guys at the top of the tree, and I'm on my way up.
Lovely, Dave.
I remember the first time getting in there thinking, whoa. I spotted his cousin quite a bit, so I thought, you know, it'll probably be similar to his cousin, but yeah, very different. You know, you don't get a lot of heavyweights 6'9" that can move. Yeah, it was very, very, very good. And, he's an awkward fighter. I doubt I'll come across someone as awkward as him again, so it was good. One thing about Tyson is he had a time for everybody. You know, after sparring, you know, when it was all cooling down, he would come over and speak to us. He'd always like, oh, look, good, thanks for the rounds, and give us a lot of time in the day. I'd ask him a lot of questions, you know, as a fan as well. I'm a fan of the sports. I'd ask him questions about what was it like when you was fighting so-and-so, and, you know, you'd always sit down and break it down to me, you know, so it was real good getting an insight. Soaking up the knowledge from them, I was just being a sponge, soaking it all in.
Yep. That's the one. That's that different sound I'm talking about. Imagine that with 10 ounces. You can feel it sounds different now with the big gloves on.
How does it feel?
It's not comfortable. I'll be sitting there with 2 ice packs on later.
And since then, you've been sparring your old mate Daniel Dubois again.
Yeah, I mean, we're both going in there trying to prove ourselves. So he's got a name, I'm starting to make my name. He thinks he can bang. I know I can bang. So we just go in there trying to show each other who's boss, innit? And yeah, that was it. It was tasty. I think he started obviously way before I did. But yeah, I mean, going into the gym, I never really felt outworked or out experienced, so it was all good.
Let's pop yourself out, mate. We do 2 tap out on the bag. Full extension, but sort of 70-75% of power, mate. I don't when you go mental.
You know, I mean, made my debut last December, second appearance last month. And yeah, now I'm about to make my 3rd this week.
Better. Much better, Dave.
you know, give me a few more fights and whatnot. I think I'll be up there with everyone. I put Tyson, Joshua in their own sort of league. But everyone else, I think I can mix it with everyone else, literally. Boxing's a dangerous career as it is, so you can only guide it right. So I'm just going through the paces, going through the steps, and when the time's right, we'll start taking all of these fights. I'm in no rush. I'm not fearful, no fighter. Whoever they put in front of me, I think I'll make mincemeat out of, so I'm ready. I want to be a world champion. I want to go in there, you know, win the belts, become unified champion, go down in the history books. If I go home and I know I never tried properly, then that's what would eat me alive. If I go in there trying and I come up short, then so be it. But I'd rather wake up sore, not sorry.